She mocked the human soldier, until the queen ordered, "Kneel before him, HFY." From the distance, it seemed like a world of perfection, a civilization far ahead of anything humanity had ever built. Yet, within the royal palace, tension hung thick in the air, the kind that could be cut with a knife. Marcus Kane, a human soldier, stepped out of the transport ship onto the smooth, metallic landing platform. His boots made a quiet thud as he walked toward the palace gates, his posture firm, his gaze steady. He had trained for years for this mission, representing Earth's interests in a galaxy that was often dismissive of humans. Many alien species considered humans simple, weak, and unprepared for the challenges of interstellar politics. Marcus, however, had learned not to let that discourage him. He knew that actions spoke louder than appearances. The palace doors opened automatically as he approached, and two Xeran guards, tall and imposing with iridescent armor, saluted him. Marcus nodded in acknowledgement, his expression calm but respectful. Inside, the air was rich with fragrances he had never smelled before, and the walls glowed faintly with embedded light panels that shifted colors as he passed. Courtiers, dressed in elaborate robes of deep blue and gold, turned to stare at him. Their eyes were sharp, full of curiosity and skepticism. Marcus could feel their scrutiny, but he did not flinch. He had faced scrutiny before, and he would face it again without complaint. Among the courtiers was Lyra Voss, a young noblewoman known for her sharp tongue and quicker temper. Her amber eyes locked onto Marcus immediately, and a mocking smile spread across her face. She whispered to a companion, her voice dripping with amusement, "Look at him, all stiff and awkward. Does Earth send its soldiers like this to make fools of themselves?" She moved closer, her stride confident, and addressed him publicly. "Human," she said, her voice carrying easily through the hall, "tell me, do you wear that uniform because it suits you, or because you have no sense of fashion like we do?" Instead of responding with anger, he spoke in measured, clear tones. "I wear this uniform for function, not for appearance. It is designed to protect and serve, not to impress." His words were calm, but they carried authority. The laughter faltered slightly, though some courtiers still snickered behind their hands. Lyra's smile twisted, her pride stung by the quiet confidence of this human. She was used to people bowing or cowering in her presence, not standing tall and speaking with dignity. Her amber eyes narrowed as she decided to escalate. "Very well," she said, her voice loud enough for all to hear. "If you are so confident, perhaps you can join us in a test of skill. Or perhaps you would prefer to hide behind your primitive gadgets, while we show you the ways of true warriors. But I will not compromise my own integrity." In a moment, she decided to intervene, but not yet. She wanted to see how he would handle the pressure first. Lyra smirked and led him to a ceremonial arena within the palace, a wide circular space with smooth, gleaming floors and walls decorated with holographic displays of historic battles. Here, the nobles often tested newcomers in contests of skill, intelligence, and strategy. The arena was a familiar stage for Lyra, a place where she had bested countless rivals. She intended to humiliate Marcus publicly and cement her superiority. "Your task," she announced, "is simple. You must retrieve the crystal shard from the center of the arena without touching the traps that protect it. Fail, and you will prove the truth of your primitiveness." He studied the arena carefully, noting the positioning of the traps and the layout of the floor. His training as a human soldier had taught him to analyze situations quickly, to plan and adapt in moments. What the aliens did not know was that humans had faced countless survival challenges on Earth, many of which required ingenuity and courage. As the challenge began, Lyra made a show of moving gracefully, demonstrating her agility. Marcus moved with quiet efficiency, observing each trap and calculating his path. Some traps were mechanical, snapping shut if triggered. Others emitted energy pulses capable of incapacitating an unprepared opponent. He avoided them all, using careful steps, quick reflexes, and a surprising improvisational approach that combined physical skill with logical reasoning. The court watched in silence, their amusement fading as Marcus progressed. Lyra's confidence wavered as she realized this human was no ordinary soldier. His movements were precise, intelligent, and efficient, an unusual combination for someone they had assumed was weak. Marcus reached the crystal shard without triggering any traps, his calm expression unchanged despite the tension of the moment. He held the shard up for the court to see. Silence fell, broken only by a soft gasp from some of the courtiers. Lyra's mouth opened and closed, unable to find words. Marcus did not gloat. He simply returned the shard to its pedestal, demonstrating respect for the rules of the challenge. His behavior contrasted sharply with the arrogance often displayed by the Zirans, earning him the attention of even those who had doubted him. The queen leaned forward slightly on her throne, her eyes narrowing in interest. Here was a being who did not succumb to pride, who did not seek to humiliate others even when given the chance, and yet possessed remarkable skill and intelligence. She had seen many outsiders, but few had impressed her in such a way. Lyra, meanwhile, felt a strange mix of frustration and admiration. She had expected humiliation, not awe. The human had shown calm, courage, and competence, qualities she respected but would not admit openly. Her pride burned, but beneath it, a seed of curiosity was planted. Who was this human, and how had he come to possess such qualities? Marcus turned to face the court, bowing slightly in acknowledgement of the observers. "I am here to learn and to represent my people," he said evenly. "I ask only for respect as I offer respect in return." His words were simple, but they carried weight. The Zirans were a proud species, accustomed to displays of dominance and submission. Marcus had achieved respect not through arrogance, but through action and humility. The courtiers whispered among themselves, some nodding subtly in approval, others still skeptical but unable to deny his skill. Lyra's expression remained guarded, but the sharp edge of her mockery had dulled slightly. She could not ignore what she had witnessed. The queen finally spoke, her voice ringing clearly through the hall. "This human soldier has shown qualities worthy of notice. Let him remain for now. Observe him further and you will see that actions can speak louder than appearances." Her words carried authority, silencing any remaining dissent. Marcus inclined his head respectfully to the queen. "Thank you, your majesty," he said simply. He felt the weight of the court's scrutiny, but he did not let it disturb his calm. He knew this was only the beginning. The path ahead would be filled with challenges, tests, and trials. Yet he also understood that every action he took could shape humanity's reputation in this galaxy. As he walked back toward the main hall, Lyra caught his gaze. There was no mocking smile this time, only a mixture of curiosity and unspoken questions. Marcus met her eyes without fear, only calm confidence. That simple acknowledgement unsettled her more than any insult ever could. The part of the palace reserved for guests was lavish but restrained, reflecting the balance between luxury and practicality. Marcus settled into the quarters assigned to him, his mind already considering the trials ahead. The Zirans were proud, cunning, and often arrogant, but he had learned long ago that humans had strengths the galaxy often underestimated. Adaptability, courage, and moral strength, these were qualities that could turn the tide in unexpected ways. As night fell over Varendor, the twin suns sinking below the horizon and casting long shadows across the city, Marcus lay awake thinking of what awaited him. This was no ordinary mission. Every step, every word, every action mattered. The humans had come far from Earth, and it was up to him to ensure their honor. Somewhere deep in the palace, the queen continued her silent observation. She had seen enough to know that Marcus Kane was not ordinary. Whether he would rise to the challenges ahead, she could not yet say, but she was certain of one thing. This human had the potential to alter the balance of respect and power in her court. And so, under the alien stars, a single human soldier began to carve his place among the proudest civilization in the galaxy, quietly, confidently, and with a determination that would not be mocked. The morning sun rose over Varendor, casting golden light on the palace towers and illuminating the intricate streets below. Inside the palace, Marcus Kane prepared for the day's mission. The previous day had been a test of skill and patience, and while he had impressed the court with his calm and precision, he knew that challenges were far from over. The queen, Saralia Voss, had already begun to take a personal interest in his abilities. Marcus left his quarters and entered the main hall, where Lyra Voss awaited. Her eyes, still sharp and proud, reflected curiosity more than mockery this time. She had been unable to forget how he had succeeded in the ceremonial arena. The nobles around her whispered, noting the unusual tension between pride and fascination in her demeanor. "Human," Lyra began, her voice cold but measured, "the Queen has requested that you participate in a demonstration mission. Perhaps you will prove that yesterday's success was not merely luck." She gestured toward a large, holographic map hovering above a pedestal in the center of the room. Marcus approached and studied the projection. It depicted a dense and dangerous section of the planet's northern territory, an area filled with jagged cliffs, deep canyons, and unpredictable weather. "What is the objective?" he asked calmly, his voice carrying the quiet confidence that had surprised so many Xerans. Lyra pointed to a small, glowing icon at the center of the mapped area. "Retrieve the obsidian core from the heart of the Ravine of Shadows. Many of our elite soldiers have attempted this task. Few have returned, and those who did barely survived. It is a test of courage, skill, and intelligence. You are to avoid unnecessary risks, follow the prescribed paths, and adhere to all local customs while completing your task. Failure will reflect poorly not only on you, but also on your species." His human training had prepared him for dangerous environments, improvisation, and facing the unknown with calm focus. He left the palace with a small escort of Xeran guides, walking through the city streets toward the northern transport hub. Citizens paused to stare at the human soldier, their expressions a mix of curiosity and doubt. Many were unused to seeing humans, let alone ones carrying themselves with such quiet confidence. Marcus acknowledged their gazes with a respectful nod, earning small smiles and whispers of approval from some of the more open-minded observers. The transport ship that would take them north was sleek and silent, hovering effortlessly above the streets. Marcus stepped inside and checked his gear: lightweight armor, compact energy weapons, survival packs, and basic navigation tools. Though he carried human technology, he remained aware of Xeran customs and ensured that nothing he had would offend their traditions. During the flight, Lyra attempted conversation, her tone a mixture of challenge and subtle curiosity. "You know," she began, "many humans are said to be reckless, acting without consideration. Yet you seem careful, calculating, strange for your kind. Recklessness is dangerous, not impressive." The wind howled, carrying sharp, icy gusts that stung the skin. Strange, glowing plants dotted the cliffs, and alien creatures with shimmering carapaces moved cautiously along the edges. It was a place few Xerans dared to enter, and many considered it cursed. Marcus studied the terrain carefully. He noted the paths, potential hazards, and the likely location of the obsidian core. Unlike most Xerans, who relied heavily on raw strength and agility, he combined observation with strategic planning. He calculated distances, assessed environmental risks, and determined a route that minimized exposure to danger while maximizing efficiency. Lyra led the way, moving gracefully along the narrow cliff paths. Marcus followed, his movements steady and deliberate, showing no fear despite the treacherous environment. At one point, a narrow ledge collapsed under her weight, forcing her to cling to the rocks to avoid falling. Marcus extended a hand, steadying her with precision. Though subtle, the act was noted by others in the escort. A human, she realized, could combine skill with careful thought and even assistance without appearing weak. As they approached the heart of the ravine, a sudden roar echoed through the cliffs. A massive, shadowy creature emerged from a crevice, its many eyes glowing with a strange light. It was a ravager beast, known for its speed, strength, and unpredictability. The Ziran guides froze, unsure how to proceed. Lyra's confidence wavered for the first time. Marcus stepped forward calmly, assessing the creature. He noticed its movement patterns and predicted its next strike. Using a combination of agility, human-engineered tools, and strategic timing, he dodged the beast's attack, creating openings to lead it away from the path toward the obsidian core. His actions were precise and controlled, showing both bravery and intelligence. Lyra watched in awe. She had faced dangerous creatures before, relying on power and tradition, yet Marcus's approach was different, calculated, adaptive, and unexpectedly effective. The creature lunged again, but Marcus anticipated it, using a small device to emit a pulse that temporarily disoriented the beast. With careful maneuvers, he guided it away, clearing the path to the core. Finally, they reached the pedestal holding the obsidian core, a glowing black crystal pulsing with strange energy. Marcus approached carefully, mindful of traps and environmental hazards. He reached out, retrieved the core, and held it securely. The return journey required just as much skill as the creature attempted one final strike. Marcus remained calm, guiding the group safely back to the transport with the core intact. Upon their return to the palace, the courtiers and guards gathered to witness the results. Lyra, though proud of their survival, could not hide her astonishment at Marcus's competence. Whispers spread quickly through the court. The human had faced a challenge that many Ziran elites could not, and he had succeeded with skill, courage, and intelligence. The queen rose from her throne, her expression unreadable but her eyes sharp. "Marcus Kane," she said, her voice carrying through the hall, "you have faced a trial that few dare attempt. Not only did you survive, but you did so with wisdom and honor. You have shown qualities that demand attention." Pride and admiration warred within her. Finally, she spoke, her voice quieter than before. "I underestimated you, human. Your actions are not those of someone simple or weak. I see now that your kind may possess strengths we never considered." Observation, courage, and careful thought are equally important. Let all who witness this remember it. As Marcus returned to his quarters, he reflected on the day's events. The ravine of shadows had tested more than physical skill. It had tested his ability to adapt, to think strategically, and to remain calm under pressure. He had proven not only to the Zirans but also to himself that humanity had a place in this vast, often dismissive galaxy. Night fell again over Varendor, the twin suns replaced by the soft glow of moons. Marcus gazed out over the city, knowing that the path ahead would be even more challenging. He could feel the eyes of the court, the queen, and Lyra upon him, each expecting more, each curious about the limits of human capability. He smiled faintly. They would learn in time that humans could rise above expectations not through arrogance, but through courage, intelligence, and unwavering integrity. And Marcus Kane intended to show them, one trial at a time, that humanity's place in the galaxy was not to be underestimated. The grand hall of the palace buzzed with anticipation. Courtiers, guards, and nobles filled the space, their eyes fixed on the center where Marcus Kane stood, calm and composed. Word of his success in the ravine of shadows had spread quickly through Varendor, and many came to witness the next stage of his trials. Among them, Lyra Voss watched silently, her amber eyes sharp with a mixture of pride and unresolved rivalry. She had trained for years to be the best among the Ziran elite, and she was not accustomed to feeling challenged by anyone, especially not a human. Lyra stepped forward, her robes flowing elegantly, and addressed the assembly. "We gather here to test the limits of those who claim strength and skill," she said, her voice ringing clear. "The human has proven himself in the ravine, but true mastery is shown not only in survival but in confrontation, strategy, and honor. Let us see how he fares in the presence of those who challenge him directly." Lyra's words carried both challenge and provocation, and everyone waited to see if Marcus would respond with humility, arrogance, or fear. Marcus met her gaze steadily. "I will face any challenge with honor and respect," he said simply, his voice calm but firm. "I do not seek to humiliate others, but I will defend myself if necessary." She allowed the confrontation to proceed, eager to see how the human would handle tension and provocation in a public setting. The trial began. Lyra, known for her agility, speed, and strength, initiated a mock duel, not with weapons but with skill and cunning. Her goal was clear: to provoke, challenge, and test Marcus in front of the court. She moved swiftly, her motions precise, designed to catch him off balance. Marcus did not move hastily. He observed, calculated, and responded with efficiency. Each step, each dodge, and each movement was intentional. He avoided unnecessary confrontation, using the environment to his advantage and redirecting Lyra's energy without direct force. His approach was unlike anything the Zirans had seen: intelligent, controlled, and strategic rather than purely physical. The courtiers watched in awe as the human matched Lyra's skill, responding with precision and calm that defied their expectations. Some whispered among themselves, noting that Marcus displayed qualities often considered rare among outsiders: composure, courage, and adaptability. Lyra's eyes, once filled with amusement and pride, now reflected surprise and a flicker of respect. "Impressive," she admitted quietly to herself, though no one else heard. "He is no ordinary human." When she lunged, he sidestepped smoothly and guided her momentum past the edge, ensuring she landed safely back on the solid platform. A collective gasp ran through the assembly. Lyra froze, astonished. Not only had Marcus countered her skill, but he had done so while ensuring she was unharmed, a gesture that was almost unheard of in Ziran dueling culture. Respect mixed with shock on her face. Marcus spoke quietly, just enough for her to hear. "Strength is not only in winning but in protecting others when possible. Power without purpose is hollow." The audience, sensing the shift, leaned forward, the atmosphere thick with tension. Even the most skeptical courtiers began to whisper among themselves, acknowledging the human's growing reputation. Suddenly, a warning signal echoed through the hall. A training drone, programmed to simulate hostile combat scenarios, malfunctioned and began moving erratically toward the assembly. Panic rippled through the crowd. Marcus reacted instantly. He assessed the situation, calculated the trajectory, and moved quickly to intercept the drone. Using a combination of agility and precise timing, he disabled the device before it could harm anyone, his movements smooth and deliberate. The court erupted in applause, though many remained stunned by his composure and quick thinking. Lyra stood frozen, her previous doubts replaced by respect and a complicated admiration she could not yet articulate. The queen remained silent, observing the human's actions carefully, noting the combination of courage, skill, and humility that he exhibited under pressure. The duel resumed, but it was no longer about mockery or challenge. Lyra moved with precision and honor, testing not only Marcus's skill but also his judgment and restraint. Each interaction between them highlighted their differences. The human relied on careful thought, observation, and ethics, while the Ziran elite often relied on tradition, strength, and pride. Marcus's approach was foreign yet effective, earning him the attention and respect of the court. Finally, the mock duel concluded. Both stood in the center of the arena, breathing steadily, eyes locked in mutual acknowledgement. Lyra's expression had softened. The pride she had once wielded as a weapon was now tempered by understanding and respect. She spoke, her voice clear and deliberate. "You are stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than I expected. I admit my mistake in underestimating you, human. Today, you have earned not only skill but honor in my eyes." Ceralia's gaze swept over Marcus, assessing his demeanor, his values, and his strength. She had watched closely, seeing how he faced mockery, danger, and challenge without resorting to arrogance or cruelty. His actions spoke of integrity, courage, and intelligence, qualities the Queen valued above all. "Marcus Kane," she announced, her voice ringing with authority, "you have demonstrated skill, courage, and honor beyond expectation. Your actions today have earned the respect of this court, not through intimidation nor by strength alone, but through intelligence, humility, and ethical conduct. Let all present remember this lesson." Courtiers nodded, some bowing subtly, while others exchanged glances, realizing that the human had shifted the perception of his species in just 2 short days. Lyra, standing nearest him, felt a profound shift within herself. Her pride had been challenged, yet it had not been destroyed. It had been tempered by recognition of the human's extraordinary qualities. The Queen continued, her tone softening slightly. "There are few beings in this galaxy who can face adversity, insult, and danger with such composure and integrity. Marcus Kane, you are one of them. Let your presence here serve as a reminder that honor, courage, and wisdom are not bound by species or origin." "I am honored, Your Majesty. I seek only to serve with integrity and to represent humanity in a manner worthy of respect." Respect and understanding often reveal strengths unseen. "Every challenge is an opportunity to learn," he said. "We can gain wisdom not only from victories but from observing and understanding one another. Even in differences, there is potential for respect and collaboration." Many were accustomed to prideful displays and hierarchical thinking, yet here was a human who had demonstrated leadership, courage, and humility in equal measure. The lesson was clear. Appearances and preconceptions could be deceiving, and actions revealed true character. As the audience dispersed, Marcus walked alongside Lyra toward the palace gardens. The tension between them had eased, replaced by mutual acknowledgement. Lyra spoke quietly, almost to herself, yet loud enough for Marcus to hear. "You have shown qualities that few possess. I underestimated you, and I cannot ignore it now." Understanding one another often begins with humility. Marcus had not only proven his capabilities, but had also influenced the perception of humans within the court. His actions were reshaping opinions, demonstrating that humanity possessed qualities that many species underestimated: courage, intelligence, humility, and resilience. As night fell over Varendor, Marcus gazed out over the illuminated city from the palace gardens. The twin moons cast silver light across the towers and streets below, and he felt the weight of expectation growing. He knew that further challenges awaited him, and that his actions would continue to shape humanity's reputation among the stars. Yet, he also knew one truth that guided him in every step: integrity, courage, and intelligence were universal strengths. They transcended species, culture, and expectation. As long as he upheld them, he would continue to earn respect, and perhaps even change the hearts of those who had once doubted humanity. And in the quiet of the night, Lyra Voss watched him from a distance, her pride tempered by awe. She had mocked him once, underestimated him twice, and yet Marcus Kane continued to impress and challenge her understanding of what a human could be. She knew, deep down, that the story was far from over, and that the next encounter would test both of them in ways neither could yet imagine. The grand hall of the palace was filled with tension unlike any Marcus Kane had experienced before. Courtiers and nobles had gathered once more, this time in anticipation of a final judgment. The human soldier had proven himself in skill, intelligence, and humility, but the Queen, Saralia Voss, had remained silent regarding his ultimate recognition. Whispers rippled through the assembly. Would he be honored, expelled, or tested again? Lyra Voss stood at the edge of the hall, her amber eyes sharper than ever. She had watched Marcus face mockery, navigate deadly terrain, and confront her directly without anger. Each trial had reshaped her perception of humans. She had expected arrogance, recklessness, or failure, yet Marcus had displayed composure, courage, and honor in every challenge. Her pride warred with a newfound admiration she was not ready to admit aloud. Marcus walked to the center of the hall, his boots echoing against the polished floor. He stood tall, calm, and ready. Every eye was upon him, the courtiers, the guards, and most importantly, the queen. He had learned that true strength was not in dominance but in balance, courage tempered with restraint, intelligence tempered with respect, power tempered with humility. The queen rose from her throne, her posture commanding silence. Her eyes swept over the assembly, then landed firmly on Marcus. "Marcus Kane," she said, her voice resonant and unwavering, "you have faced trials designed to test not only your skill but your character. You have endured mockery, danger, and challenge without arrogance, fear, or dishonor. You have proven yourself worthy of recognition." The queen's words carried authority and finality. This was not merely praise. It was a decree that would alter Marcus's position in the palace and within the hearts of the Xeran people. The queen continued, her voice steady and deliberate. "In acknowledgement of your courage, intelligence, and honor, I command that all present recognize your strength and integrity. Let it be known that the human before us has earned respect beyond that of many Xeran nobles." The courtiers exchanged glances, realizing that Marcus's humility matched his skill, a combination rarely seen among the elite. Then the queen's voice grew stronger, commanding attention. "And to demonstrate the recognition of your worth and to remind all present of the values we honor, courage, intelligence, humility, and honor, I command, kneel before him." Kneeling before a human soldier was unthinkable in Xeran culture, where rank and species had always dictated honor. Yet here, the queen had overturned tradition, recognizing true merit over convention. Marcus's gaze swept over the assembly. He understood the gravity of the command. This was not a moment for arrogance. He bent at the knees in a deep bow of respect, not for power or prestige, but to honor the queen's judgment and the traditions she represented. The gesture was measured, composed, and dignified. Slowly, the courtiers began to follow the queen's command. One by one, the highest-ranking nobles knelt before Marcus, a ripple of acknowledgement and respect spreading through the hall. Some did so reluctantly, struggling against centuries of ingrained hierarchy, yet Marcus's demeanor demanded honor without humiliation. His calm presence made it clear that this was recognition, not dominance. Lyra remained standing, conflicted. She had come to this day intending to prove herself superior, to mock and challenge the human. Instead, she found herself humbled, unable to deny the respect Marcus had earned through actions alone. Her amber eyes softened, and she finally stepped forward. Her robe swirled around her as she knelt before him, a gesture that surprised both the court and herself. Marcus looked at Lyra with quiet acknowledgement. "Strength is proven not through mockery or pride, but through courage and respect," he said softly. His words were gentle, yet carried immense weight. Lyra's heart shifted as she absorbed the meaning. She had once believed humans weak and inexperienced, yet this one had proven the opposite with calm integrity and steadfast honor. The queen observed all of this from her throne, satisfied with the outcome. Marcus's actions had not only earned him respect, but had also changed the hearts of those who had doubted him. Lyra's transformation was a testament to the lesson she had learned. True strength was not in titles, appearances, or mockery, but in actions and character. The assembly rose slowly, the atmosphere charged with newfound respect. Courtiers whispered among themselves, recognizing that the human soldier had not only met expectations, but exceeded them in ways that were extraordinary. His composure, skill, and humility had left an impression that would resonate throughout the palace and beyond. Marcus turned to the queen. "Your Majesty, I am grateful for your recognition. I will continue to serve with honor and represent humanity to the best of my ability." His voice was steady, reflecting the determination that had guided him through every trial. The queen's lips curved in a rare smile. "Marcus Kane, you have done more than survive. You have inspired. You have shown that merit is not confined by species, and that courage, intelligence, and humility can alter perceptions and change hearts. You will remain within the palace not as a visitor, but as a respected envoy of humanity. She realized that her own understanding of strength had changed. Humans were different, yes, but they possessed qualities that transcended convention and expectation. She nodded subtly, acknowledging the truth she had once denied. The queen continued, her voice addressing the entire court. Let today serve as a lesson for all. Honor is earned, not demanded. Strength is measured not only by power but by wisdom, restraint, and integrity. And respect, true respect, is given to those who demonstrate these qualities through their actions. The courtiers, nobles, and guards realized that they had witnessed something extraordinary. A human soldier who had not only proven his worth, but had also transformed the perceptions of an entire alien society through courage, intelligence, and ethical conduct. The hall slowly emptied as the court returned to their duties, but the significance of the moment lingered. Marcus remained standing, quietly reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. He understood that respect and recognition were earned through consistent action, integrity, and moral strength. The trials he had faced were not merely tests of skill, but lessons in leadership, humility, and diplomacy. Later, in the private gardens of the palace, Marcus walked alongside Lyra. The cool night air carried the scent of alien blossoms, and the twin moons cast a silver glow over the ornate walkways. Silence passed between them for a moment, comfortable and reflective. "You have shown me what I did not expect," Lyra said finally, her voice low and sincere. "Humans are different, strong, yes, but also wise and honorable. I underestimated you. And I will do better, not only in skill but in understanding." As the night deepened, Marcus looked toward the horizon. The stars glittered above, endless and full of possibility. He knew that challenges would continue to come, but he also knew that humans had a place in this galaxy, a place earned through action, integrity, and unwavering courage. The court, the queen, and even Lyra had learned a profound lesson. Appearances and prejudice were no measure of true strength. Marcus had shown that humans could rise above expectation, earning respect where it was least expected and changing the course of perception with every action. And in that moment, Marcus Kane understood something fundamental. Honor was not given. It was earned through courage, intelligence, humility, and moral strength. With each step forward, he would continue to prove that humanity's place in the galaxy was not only justified but remarkable. The twin moons reflected off the palace towers as Marcus and Lyra walked back toward the hall. The journey had been transformative, not just for the human soldier, but for the entire court. Respect had been won, perceptions had been challenged, and the path for future human interactions within the Xeran Empire had been secured. The queen's voice, soft but clear from her balcony, echoed in the quiet night. Let all who witness this remember that true strength is shown not in dominance, but in honor, intelligence, and humility. Let today be a reminder to all that courage and integrity are universal, and that respect is earned through them. And as he looked to the stars above, he knew that humanity's journey in the galaxy was only beginning.